Friday, June 5, 2026 meeting of the Wilson Clark County Commission Lincoln Government Day. Please stand and uncover your lips and we'll give the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'll take a minute to introduce some of us on this end. Audra Zapple is Assistant Director of Public Works. Roger Baltz is our Chief Administrative Officer. Andy Hunthausen, Commissioner. Candace Payne, Commissioner. I'm Tom Rolfe, Chair of the Commission this year. Brent Colbert, Under Sheriff. And then we've got some of your other members of the Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, I'll introduce them to me.
All right, sounds good. Our first report is the Sheriff's Department. Just want to remind everybody, if you have a question, you have something to bring up, we ask you to go to the podium. We have to record these meetings now by state law, and so we need to have you go to the podium to make any comments or ask questions, and we get it on the record so that we have a complete record of our meeting. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners.
Right here, Grant.
I'm going to be right by you, Francis. Thank you. Good morning. My spiel is going to be pretty short because these two guys have more to say than I do. The sheriff does wish he would have been here, but he's part of the Board of Crime Control, and their meeting's spilling over to today, so that's where he's at. But he wishes that he could be here and sends his hello. So, Sheriff's Office, we have 4 new deputies. They're about the middle of their training at the academy. So you'll be seeing them out in the summertime here, probably after July. You'll probably see them with an FTO. And as the weather warms up, which today is going to be a great day, as the weather warms up, so does everybody else. So that makes our job a little bit busier. And I don't see any of the fire guys here today, but as you could probably tell, that may be a concern for us this summer, and that'll make us even more busy than we normally are. So I'll introduce our other guys that we have here. We have Detective Colbert, who is part of our CID division, and we have Max Sanford, who is also one of the North deputies. You have Chance Hill, who lives here, and you have Alicia Bragg, who lives in Augusta, and you have Max, who is in the Wolf Creek area. But you always see all of them. We try not to pigeonhole them in the areas because they do need some time off. So that when you don't see them, you'll see some of the other people running around taking care of calls up there. So with that, you guys have a important event that's going to happen at the beginning of next month. So we probably won't be able to be here for that. I'm not sure if there'll be a commission meeting since the 4th of July is right in that area. But the person who is going to be in charge of the festivities up here, at least for the sheriff's office, is Detective Colbert. So I will let him come up here and explain what's going to happen and how that's going to work during the 4th of July. So.
Thank you for letting me come and chat with you guys. As the undersheriff said, my name is Cody Colbert. I'm a detective with the Sheriff's Office. This year, I'm going to be in charge of the Sheriff's Office operations for the 4th of July weekend and rodeo. Just kind of wanted to give everyone a heads up on kind of what my plan is for all that. You're going to see, I think I have 6 reserves, and hopefully me and a couple other deputies coming around working the whole weekend. I'll be up here Friday through Sunday, so I'll be staying along with a few other people. I'm looking forward to a fun weekend. We'll be out here making sure public safety, Montana code annotated, everything falls as it should, but also making sure everyone's having fun, but in a safe manner. I'm not here to cause problems with anybody or make us think about things, but I also want to make sure things are done orderly and safely, and that everyone's having a good Okay.
Are you related to him?
That's my dad.
All right, I had, you poor thing. I think I knew your mother too. Oh, jeez. That's not the question. The question was, is it unusual to have a detective in charge of the Lincoln 4th of July celebration rather than just your regular sheriff's office deputy or patrolman or something? And did you get this special opportunity for fun and bizarre people watching because you're his son? Or?
No. So the sheriff's office is kind of broken up into different divisions. So you have administration, civil, investigations, patrol, and jail. So you have a lot of different things, coroner's office. They're just different aspects of the same thing. I'm still a deputy sheriff. My job is to ensure the safety of people. I just do it in a different field. So I do complex investigations that come from the patrol level and up. I'm also what's called a corporal. So I'm assigned to the detectives. So I'm a detective, but I'm a corporal. So if I go back in the streets, my rank is corporal. Corporals run the events such as rodeos. So Lincoln Rodeo, Augusta Rodeo, Stampede Fair in Helena, and they help out in East Helena for their rodeo. So I volunteer to do this. This is an assignment. I volunteer to do the Lincoln Rodeo, and corporals run. So that's what I'm doing.
All right, well, I'm glad I got that information.
Any other questions?
All right, thanks for being here and letting people know ahead of time.
Of course, thanks for your time.
Next, I will have Max come up. He's gonna give you what's going on locally in this area and the other two areas I told you earlier. And before I get done, I would like to say thanks to Annette and I just lost her name. Becky. They came yesterday to Helena, all the way to Helena, and did a presentation for hometown Helena about sculpture in the park. You guys did a great job. I thought you guys did awesome. Thank you. Matt?
Good morning, everyone. For those who haven't heard it already, my name is Max. I'm one of the North deputies. My assigned area is the Wolf Creek Craig area. However, I often come up to Lincoln in my travels and up to Augusta. So I'm not as good as these guys. I had to type out some notes. That way I don't get lost. So I'm going to pull up those. So first, I just want to start off with some rough stats. So since January 1st of this year, there have been approximately 739 calls, give or take a few, in the north areas, as my system wasn't exactly allowing me to filter them out. So out of those calls, there have been 12 arrests that have happened in the north. That includes Wolf Creek, Craig, Lincoln, and Augusta. There have been, out of those 12 arrests, 5 of them were driving under the influence charges. So 4 of them have occurred in Lincoln, so that's where 4 of those arrests have occurred. So again, not saying that anybody has been found guilty on those. Those were just arrests that we have affected. We recently just had the side-by-side event here in Lincoln. I'm happy to report that it went very smoothly. We had 1 minor accident that was reported to us. No injuries, no damage to the side-by-side, anything like that. During that event, some of you might have seen extra patrols in the area. There were at least 2 of us on each day, and we were working what's called step shifts, which is our safe traffic enforcement program. So our goal during those shifts is not to hand out tickets and be a menace. It's to enforce the law and make sure that people are driving safely and appropriately for the conditions and going the speed limit. As the undersheriff said, the fire season is upon us. You might have noticed there does not appear to be any fire members, like the undersheriff said. They are currently on a vehicle fire. So I would just like to remind everyone, I know you guys have lived in Lincoln for probably a long time, but it is important to have like a go bag ready or to know where your important things are, such as medication, important documents, things like that. That way, if we come by and we say, hey, you need to get your stuff and leave right now, you don't have to take the time to try to figure out where things are. And then the undersheriff already covered it. We do have some large events coming up. Corporal Colbert will be running the Lincoln Rodeo, and then we also have Rocking the Rockies coming up towards the end of summer, I believe in August, if I'm correct. So expect to be seeing extra patrols. Again, we're not trying to cause mayhem in your area, we're just trying to keep everyone safe. So My last order of business, I'll try to keep it short, but we have received multiple complaints with the Lincoln Sewer District about some interesting things going on. So it is being investigated by the Sheriff's Office. To my knowledge, there are currently 2 active investigations, I believe both of which have been forwarded now to the county attorneys. I know one of them was handled by the CID division. So does anybody have any questions for me? All right.
No questions? Thank you for being here.
Thanks, man. That is the sheriff's report, Mr. Chair, Commissioners.
All right, no questions for the sheriff's department? Sheriff's office, we'll move on to the next item. Community council reports. Great, we got somebody here to do it. Go for it. You're in.
Since Zach is not here, I'm Rick Foreman, a member of the community council. In May, we had a meeting on the 19th. Not overly attended, but we talked about, let's see, Copper Creek Road, county maintenance. Is there a county maintenance guy here today? You're here, okay. Cool. I'll let her talk about county maintenance stuff. Talked about Stemple Pass Road, there was some washouts and they're working on that. Magnet spray, hopefully the dust abatement, and she'll probably talk about that. It's supposed to be in June this month, maybe, hopefully before the 4th. Anyway, Hooper Park is open. Niles reported on that. Did a pine needle burn, and that's all gone right now. And there's vacant seats on our community council board, and there's applicants that have been submitted, but we haven't had confirmation.
And I should tell you that the election department was pretty busy with the primary.
Okay.
We just signed out a bunch of the
Appointments.
appointments and sent them up. People should be getting them in the mail first week.
Cool, so
Okay.
make it official.
Yeah.
Do they have to still be sworn in by the community council?
What's the answer on that? I don't remember.
Eventually.
Yes,
Mr. Chair, I did send,
Get the final paperwork,
yeah,
and we can do a swearing in at our community council meeting.
sure. And I did send an email confirmation of the results to Zach, just at the beginning of the week. He does have.
That's all I have.
Any questions for the community council? Any questions? All right, anybody here from Forest Service? Okay. And how about the Department of Natural Resources Conservation? Nothing there. Public Works, Audra Zackel.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Audra Zackrell. I'm the Assistant Director of Public Works. I'm here to give a little update on Public Works this morning. It's not going to be very long. First, I'll address Rick's question about MAG with this comment. Our road and bridge department Lincoln positions, we're down both of them. So we're sending people from Helena. In addition to those positions, we have 3 vacant positions and 1 person on medical leave. So we are down quite a few positions in our road and bridge division. So we're a little bit behind on our maintenance. In addition to that, our mag chloride bulk supply bid is not scheduled for award until the week after next. So until we get that mag, we're not able to start our dust control efforts. But I will find out from our road and bridge manager when that's planned to be scheduled here in Lincoln and make
You've
sure you
been
know.
getting enough rain lately, so that's good.
Yeah, we've been kind of lucky with that, haven't we? In addition to the 5 positions that were down in the road and bridge bridge divisions, our administrative office is down a position, and our landfill is also down a position. So we have quite a few vacancies in public works that we're trying to fill right now. However, the majority of Lincoln pothole patching has been complete. They do have one more day of pothole patching that they need to do, and around the bank will be included in that work. I guess we must have been getting a few calls on that area, so that will happen. The 6th Avenue intersection was milled out and overlaid next to the Mountain View Co-op. We finished the sewer line excavation at our Lincoln shop, and we have a plumber installing a new line from the tank to the building, and our guys will be backfilling that area next week. Most of the roads have been graded. When the Lincoln side of Stemple Pass Road grade work gets completed, then we'll start on the Helena side of Stemple Pass. Work has started and they're working on the washouts on the Helena side of Stemple Pass also. So if you're traveling Stemple Pass, expect some minor delays and be cautious, because there are those large trucks hauling material for us into the washout areas. We have received a grant from the Montana Department of Natural Resources and Conservation. This is for the Upper Blackfoot Resource and Mining Complex, and it's that water treatment plant power line that they're relocating. During the 25 legislature, we applied for this grant. We partnered with the Montana Department of Environmental Quality. They're actually the project manager for this, where the county is really just a pass-through to DEQ to do this work. I believe that Northwestern Energy has started that work, and it's gonna probably be completed by the end of June, first part of July. But that was a $479,085 grant, and it ends December 31st. However, all the work's gonna be done by then, and any administrative costs the county's incurring from that grant and the match is all being provided by Department of Environmental Quality. So it's been a no-cost project for us. I understand the U.S. Forest Service has completed their upgrades on Copper Creek Road. The existing chip seal was pulverized, new culverts were installed, and additional gravel was added and compacted. Now the U.S. Forest Service is working on the final paving for the bridge ends. So, I'm responsible for the budget for Public Works. We just wrapped up and submitted our budget to the commission. We presented last week. That's a pretty big effort for Public Works and all our team. It takes us 9 months. We start that process back in September, and then it's due to the commission in May. Public Works has 25 programs that we budget for. We have 13 capital budgets that we budget, and we have 149 rural improvement districts that we budget for. So that's a really big number of budgets that we're responsible for submitting. It totaled just under 42 million this year. That was up from 24 million in 10 years ago. So we've kind of increased our budgets quite a bit in 10 years. It took us almost 4 hours to present to the commission, and they kind of hung in there with us on that presentation. So thank you, commissioners.
It was riveting.
Comment, actually, that budget I thought was the most interesting one we had, because the leadership of our Public Works Department had each one of the people who was running, for example, the guy who runs the shop. He's not used to public speaking, and I know he isn't. He went to high school with my son, and he's kind of, but anyway, he got up and explained to us why his job was important to the goals of the commission. And then Kevin Horn, head of the bridges and they had each one of the department heads who, their department, am I using the
Our division managers.
division manager, stand up and say what it is, why their division is important, and what it is they're trying to do. And it took a little more time, but I think it was helpful to the commission and helpful to your employees, and probably helpful to anybody who happened to be watching on our little television feed. As to, Public Works, has a huge budget. They have a lot of money to spend. And, you know, the only time we talk to him when I get a phone call from somebody, I'm, why did you blow my road? So, anyway, so thank you for that presentation, Audra. That was really nice.
Any questions for me? Okay.
I'd like to just add, I think that the detail that the budget was presented to us was absolutely extraordinary. And if you want to see how local government should operate, you should get on the computer and pull up that website where where Audra Zackrell and the rest of the team shows exactly how the money's being spent. The way they budget is a flagship operation. There are not very many local government units that operate as efficiently and effectively for the public as our Public Works Department does. And now we're getting more and more of the other offices and departments of the county using these same sort of plans where they plan ahead for long-term expenditures and start saving money to get things done. That's why they're able to accomplish as much as they do. And then they know where to focus when they're going after grants, get things, and getting grants from the feds and from the state to do work when we don't have enough money to do it ourselves. So it was a wonderful, wonderful example. If you want to know how local government should operate, pull up our website, look at that meeting for last week, and on the last day, Thursday afternoon, sit down and listen to Audra and the crew present that. It's well worth your time.
Thank you, Chairman.
Mr.
Yes.
Chair, since we're
Yeah.
doling out verbal hugs here, I'll pile on.
Yeah.
But actually, we have 3 departments represented here today: the Public Health, Sheriff's Office, and Public Works that represent 3 of the largest budgets of the county, and they all did an excellent job presenting their budgets. And I think Mr. Balt's term delivered very responsible budgets to our commission, and they were a very nice job. We try to ask for justification for everything they do, and then if you look at your agenda, at the very end of your agenda, the commission goals and objectives on there, and many of you maybe don't read those, but if you look all the way to the end, we asked them to tie in their budgets to those goals and objectives, and they did a really nice job this year. It was very noticeable, kind of the overt effort of saying, hey, this is how this piece of our budget ties to these goals and objectives. So it was impressive.
Very,
Very good. And I think the Sheriff's Office and Public Works are the 2 largest budgets in the county. They did a great job talking about each division and all the things they do and how that money is spent. So good job. Good on you. So you should be proud of your county staff. They do a great job for us. Thanks.
Right.
Mr. Chair.
Yep.
Thank you. Anything
All right.
else?
Any questions for Audra? All right. Well, we're ready with public health. Then excuse me.
I have a question for the commissioners.
Could we wait and make these other reports and then we'll do it? If that's all right. And if, I don't know if we've told you before, but we have to have you up here, and if people have questions, they have to come up and do it because we're recording the meeting.
Right. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you for the reminder. It's been a year since I've been up here, so. I'm Melissa Baker. I work at Lewis and Clark Public Health, as they said. My role, I've been in my role for almost 19 years now. I'm the breast and cervical cancer screening coordinator. And what that program does is to provide, it's kind of in the name, but breast and cervical cancer screenings for women who are uninsured or underinsured and who meet certain age and income requirements. The age requirements for women to get screened for cervical cancer is 21 to 64. And for breast cancer, we usually start at age 40. But we do make exceptions for women who are experiencing some sort of problem. And then in addition to the actual screening, which of course for cervical would be a PAP, and for breast cancer is a mammogram, if anything comes back abnormal, our program is also able to pay for diagnostic services like ultrasounds and biopsies. So over the last, during the last fiscal year, so we're almost at the end of this fiscal year, but over the last fiscal year, I actually reached 113% of the annual screening goal. I should mention that my program also, it serves, even though we're located in Lewis and Clark, we serve a 4-county area. So I also work with women from Broadwater, Jefferson, and Marr counties. And we rely largely on getting the word out through providers. Provider education and outreach is a big part of my position, as well as word of mouth. And we don't really have too much of a budget for advertising, unfortunately, but we do what we can there. There's some health fairs to support. Women who come through the program who actually receive a cancer diagnosis, I act as kind of a liaison between them and the Medicaid office. There's a special Medicaid program that's only available to women who are diagnosed through our program. So it has a little bit different guidelines, higher income guidelines than traditional Medicaid. And I help them to get enrolled into that program so that they have a way to pay for their treatment. We're also a United Way agency, so we get a little bit of money through United Way fundraising to help us to provide free exams for women who don't maybe meet the age requirements. As I said, we try to help women's, the breast cancer screening starts at 40, but if somebody comes in and they're younger, we can use some of that funding through United Way to help them out. In addition to being enrolling women into the program and then following them through, helping them get everything scheduled and making sure that everything turns out okay, I am also the co-chair of the Early Detection Implementation Team of the statewide Montana Cancer Coalition and the Montana Colorectal Cancer Roundtable. So even though we don't have funds to provide, colorectal cancer screenings, we do have an objective and a priority to educate the public about the importance of colorectal cancer screening. So the goal of our committee is to detect cancer at its earliest stages. And we do that, but we try to increase screening using nationally recognized guidelines for breast, cervical, lung, and colorectal cancers. And the way we do that is by promoting screening through culturally appropriate education, health equity approaches using one-on-one education, small media, and working directly with target populations. Right now, the entire Montana Cancer Coalition is working on writing our next, we've always done a 5-year plan. 5-year plan ends in 2026. This time we're writing a 7-year plan. So we've been working diligently on updating the plan, coming up with, we're trying to find the data. It's a little hard. You would think that there would be a lot of data out there about cancer, but it's been a little bit hard to find out specific to Montana data as far as what the screening rates are for each of the different types of cancer. We're also, and this time we're going to go to a 7-year plan to give us a little bit more time to meet those goals that we're writing. And we're also going to add prostate and skin cancers to our objective. So, and then we'll be having also assisting in planning the next statewide Montana Cancer Coalition meeting. We used to meet annually. I think we didn't meet last year, but once the new plan is written, we will have a meeting, probably in Helena, but it could be somewhere else. But it's a good way for people to come and learn about cancer and what's going on in Montana. Another thing that we do to try to promote the program and help more women find out about the importance of breast cancer screening is we partner with a nonprofit agency out of Missoula called Tough Enough to Wear Pink. And we partner with St. Peter's Health and Benefits Health and Imaging to offer a mammogram event. So Tough Enough to Wear Pink takes charge of all the advertising. They do a lot of radio advertising. That seems to really reach women in our area. All women are directed to call me, and then I screen them and see if they have insurance. If they don't have insurance and they qualify for our program, I can enroll them into a program, which helps us meet our annual screening goal. And if they don't qualify for either, then Tough Enough to Wear Pink will pay for their mammogram, but only on the day of that event, which is a little awkward. But anyway, then I help them get scheduled at either St.
Excuse me, only on the what?
Only on the day of the mammogram screening event.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. So anybody's eligible to come in on that day. Tough Enough to Wear Pink has a vision for all women to get their mammograms, but it's just they really do a push for one day a year. And then I'll just mention briefly that starting July 1st, we are going to be starting another program that, or taking on an additional program that I will be managing. It'll only be a few hours a week, but it's called The Wise Woman. And it is aimed at women. I don't know a lot yet because I haven't had any training. We haven't had really an initial meeting, but basically it's aimed at women more or less in the same age range, like 40 and up, who are at risk of cardiovascular disease. And so we'll get referrals from clinics. I help the women do a little evaluation, guide them to get some lab work done, and then we follow them over a 2-year period. And they get some training on like lifestyle changes, exercise, nutrition, that kind of stuff. So anyway, so we'll be implementing that next month, so that's going to be exciting. Are there, and I do have some brochures for anybody who would like them, so you grab me afterwards if you want them.
Any questions for the health department? Any questions? Yes.
Um,
Manager, come up here.
I know that with the clinic here, they, Sandra Winters, they had a bus that would come up, a mammogram bus that would come up. It was through St. John's Hospital in Butte. Does Lewis and Clark County Health offer any mobile mammogram units, or do they work in affiliation with the hospital on that?
We do. In fact, I helped to, mobile mammography was identified years ago as something that would be very helpful to residents of Lincoln. And so when St. James in Butte acquired their mobile mammography unit, I worked with them, reached out to them, and helped them connect with basically like the manager of PureView, who, then made sure that they started coming to Parker. Yeah.
I know that I was trying to do the schedule and the bus was broke down quite a bit, so.
It is broke down a lot,
I
yes.
wasn't sure if Lewis and Clark County had anything.
We don't, no. No, there's only 3 mobile mammography units in Montana. One
Okay.
is out of St. Vincent in Billings, so they mainly cover the eastern part of the state. St. James was their mobile unit was going, they have quite a large area that they cover as well. And then Logan Health out of Kalispell has a mobile mammography unit that sometimes goes to Townsend, but we've never been able to get them to come to Lincoln. I'm not really sure. But that's about
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, welcome. Thank you for the question.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Thank you for being here.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for interrupting this.
All right.
Did you sign the list?
We do ask you to sign and leave contact information so we can get back to you should we need to.
Okay.
I believe that's really helpful. If you haven't had a chance to do that, maybe right after the meeting, you could do that for us. Now, somebody had a question, and if you'd like to just come up to the podium there, give us and ask the question, and be sure to give us your name for the record.
I'm Ronald Hausman. I take care of Hooper Parker, pleasure of the county. I'm not appointed or just that we can't get board members very easy. The park generates last year we generated about $33,000, which all this money goes down to the county. My question is about Ryan Park. Is the county still giving money to the Babe Ruth Association to take care of Ryan Park?
We do, I believe.
No,
Yeah, well,
there is some contribution toward the care of Ryan Park and the mowing. And then, actually, right now, we're considering a contribution. They have so much hard surface there. Fog sealing their hard surface is going to be a challenge that we're trying to figure out financially here coming up. But we do contribute every year toward the mowing and toward saving for a future mower, that kind of thing. But for the great majority of it, Babe Ruth Association is essentially subcontracted to take care of that park, and so they do the great majority of it, and they raise the money for it.
Has the county ever thought about letting the city take over that park? It's within the boundaries of the city, and they have more equipment than the county does for taking care of parks. It makes sense to me.
Could I comment? Matter of fact, I sit on the City County Consolidated Parks Board.
I do too.
I thought you looked vaguely familiar. And as you know, it seems like the city parks get all the attention, and the city kind of just acts like, does the county have parks? So I'm glad that you are bringing this up, and I think it's something that needs to be brought to the attention of Doug Haberman, who is our fearless leader, and to see if there's some things we could do to be helping with Ryan Park, as well as the other county parks. For example, the Lincoln Park is a county park, isn't it?
Right.
Okay, so, and those of us that sit on that parks board, I think we should maybe lean on them a little.
Mr. Chair, the intent of the $33,000 that's raised here is that would go back into caring for the park, and most of it does in paying for the host, right? And for the other needs.
Well, we got maintenance that we paid for the host and,
Yeah.
and supplies and stuff like that. But I don't think I know the Missy said we had $37,000 in the account as of the end of the year. They used $5,000 to clean the park up because there was lots of pine cones and stuff.
There was a large electrical changeover in addition that was invested in. The bathrooms were invested in. So I think that money does, the intent is that it would go back into the park and caring for the park. Are you thinking that there should be
I
another?
think that might come out of a lot of those fees that we collected.
Well, the fees won't go anywhere else. They'll be kept for this park. So we don't spend them at Ryan Field or anything.
I know that,
Yeah.
I just assumed that the county paying, I heard $15,000 towards Babe Ruth, which probably that was several years ago, and probably higher than that, 20,000. It makes sense to me to turn it over to the county, park, Helena, which is an incorporated city, and they got the equipment,
They do. So, Mr. Chair, if I could, so a few years ago, prior to either one of these folks being on the commission, we did an assessment with the city of Helena. And at that time, which I think the number would be significantly higher, they told us that if they took the park over, it would be $175,000 a year for them to manage that park. All the staff, equipment, everything that they would want to do. So it was a huge number. And And so I think we put 15 to 20,000 in a year as our part, but then Babe Ruth manages that park and takes care of it. So, we don't have a parks department, as you know. So that was the last assessment. I mean, we can revisit that, I think, and we can ask the city of Helena if they're interested in taking it over. It's county land, essentially, so, the city's already struggling to take care of all the parks they have, and to take on another park and to add that cost to their budget, they're not interested in doing that, I'm sure. So if we paid for it, they would do that, but I don't know where that money would come
Does
from.
Babe Ruth charge fees for anything, and does it cut money, and does it go back to the county like ours does?
No, they charge and then they take care of the park, and they sublet to small fry football in the fall as well, I think, and so all that money comes in. They use it for their operations, and they built all the fields and the dugouts and all of that. They use that money to do all that. They pay for all of that. And then they manage the park and mow it and do all the things. So it's a little different setup than Hooper Park is set up. So,
Well, I just know that, you know, like the Proveno over there, it's gonna need a new roof for too long, and that's gonna be a big sum. And we need some improvements in roads and stuff in there. It hasn't been graded for 2 years now, and no mag chloride. It just.
Mr. Chair, I think you're right on though, and that might be something that we could do with the Parks Board, is to develop a plan. Like, we need a plan for Hooper Park and what we're gonna do, what we're gonna do the next 5 years, and how we're gonna pay for it. And then the commission, if we had a plan, we could consider how to either save for or move money around, or one of the ways that some of the larger county communities take care of their parks, we have a parks district. Parks district can be set up, but that's like a hospital district or a sewer district or the others, where you're raising money for the people who live there that goes back into that park. And
Has Heidi ever considered that parks on it?
the county hasn't, seriously, I don't think.
I think if you've got some ideas on how to do it, through the park board that you're on, that can be developed, and if there's a specific, program that you'd like to suggest put together, we're always open to listening to that sort of thing, when it kind of put together a proposal,
We'll work on it.
all right?
I've got a comment.
Yeah,
Rick Forman, I just want to mention,
just a second.
talking about the policies.
Just a sec, wait. Okay.
At our last Parks Board meeting, the heaviest discussion was whether or not we should review the bylaws. The bylaws have not been reviewed for 10 years. I don't think there's anything wrong with bylaws, and if that board is looking for something to do, this is the kind of stuff that we should be pursuing. And so, and I was the no vote on whatever they were trying to do last Wednesday, and so
All
I
right.
can help you with that.
All right, Clay, if you, again,
I'm Rick Forman.
all right, Rick.
The Napkins Park, is it a county park?
Yeah.
Yes. 7-Up Ranch Park, come 4x4. So there's 3 county parks here in Lincoln. You know, there's 4, there's another one.
There's the river park.
More than that.
Yeah, the River Park, yeah.
So, anyway, I just wanna,
And for parks up here, if you've got a proposal, work with the community council, and they'll help put together a proposal for the ones up here.
Okay,
All right?
that's all I gotta say.
Thank you.
I just think it's something that needs to be,
Yeah.
looked at.
Okay. Well, let's work with the community council and the parks board, and you keep pushing on it from your end, and we'll see what we can get done.
Chair. Mr. Chair.
Okay, Roger.
So, just before the conversation ends, I just wanted to mention a few years ago, a company came in from Colorado and did a study in our county of parks and open space. They did an inventory of everything that exists. And they gave their report to the commissioners that predated you all. Not Commissioner Hunt. but-
No, nothing.
He's been
And in that report, they had a whole list of all the different recreation facilities and parks that exist in the county. And we have that report if you'd ever like to look at it now. It might actually even still be posted on our planning website. And it also had recommendations for how to fund potentially handling parks and recreation in a different way in our county. You're correct, the county does not have a Parks and Recreation Department. But that study speaks to a lot of those issues, and it speaks to what's called passive recreation and active recreation activities. And Hooper Park is more passive recreation, but many parks have active recreation, like with youth sports programs, for instance, like Ryan Fields has. So that report addressed all of that, did an inventory, and then it also had a section that spoke to how different things that could be considered for how to fund doing things in a different way, including assessments on property owners, on your property taxes, creating a district, some things like that. So there is a report and an inventory that's been done, and I just wanted to remind everybody of that exists. And this conversation actually reminds me a little bit of, we have a cemetery district in Helena for Forest Vale Cemetery. And a few years ago, they were very concerned about what the future might look like for that property, what they needed to do for their property, for their buildings, their fencings, things like that. And what they did was they pulled together and they actually produced a strategic plan for the future of that property. And I'm just kind of repeating a little bit what Commissioner Hunthausen already brought up, but getting people together and producing a strategy, a strategic plan for the future is a method that we've seen work really well in the past that might be something we could think about for Hooper Park as well. So I just wanted to throw those ideas out and that information out for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, and I think your point's well taken now, because you're kind of doing a lot of work out of the goodness of your heart, and others that jump in and help with Hooper Park. But you're not going to be able to do that forever. What comes next, we've got to have a plan for long-term care and maintenance of the park, especially one that's used this much. I mean, some of the others mow it a couple times a year and there's nothing there, nothing happening there, but a park that's this active, we should probably have a plan and a maintenance plan, some sort of sustainable resource to make sure that it's cared for. So your point's well taken.
So somebody, Misty and I, some of the park board members to make a plan of some kind.
Yeah, and we can help, and if there's, yeah, I mean, we could do it internally and or Otter's very used to this. There's lots of times where you, if you really want to get into the weeds, you can
I'm
find
not
a way to get it.
person that can, put a plan together.
Yeah. Sometimes we can find a grant or something, or put a little money aside to get a consultant to really help us put something comprehensive together with how much it would cost and when this might need to be replaced and all those kinds of things. And you look at a long-term capital improvement plan for the property, that might be something we could work on.
But the study that Roger was informing us about would be probably a reasonable place to start, because
Yeah.
we probably still have those parks. I have
It's a
not-
little more broad than specific.
Yeah.
Well, but the city county parks board, I don't know if they know that that's out there.
They
That
do.
Okay, well, sometimes persons need to bring it to their attention, so Roger, if you would send me a copy of that on email, I'll see what I can do.
I'll be glad to, and commissioners, just to kind of follow up too. When that report, it was given to the county commission that existed at that time. The commissioners reviewed it, and there was a lot of discussion, but doing all of these things, stating the obvious, it comes at a substantial cost.
Of course.
And that cost was discussed very fully about the assessments and what they might potentially cost property owners if we wanted to shift into doing those things. But absolutely, Commissioner, we have it, we'll get it to you, no problem.
What I was interested in was actually a list of county parks, because I've had this discussion before. What are the county parks? Well, there's that one up in Augusta, you know, right next to and then there's one, but I'm not getting any real answers, so I would be
We'll
interested.
get that to you.
Yeah, we have, and that report may be on the county website.
I think it
I
may.
think it's on the,
But it's only helpful if people know about it, and I didn't know about it.
Yep.
look.
All right, if you'll get that out to us, that'd be great.
You bet.
And it might be a good thing to send a copy of it to the community council too.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
all right,
Give them something else to worry about.
all right. Do we have any other business here that we need to take care of? And we do have a time that we always set aside at the end for anything that's not on the agenda for you to bring up. Is it a separate, is it one of the things we've already talked about, or well, we're just about to get to that. I was gonna announce that our next meeting will be on August 7th. There won't be a meeting on the 3rd of July. We will do that. But we do always reserve time at the end of each of our meetings for public comment on anything that's not on the agenda that you'd like, that could be under the purview of the county commission. We ask that you, and that's this time. So if you've got something you'd like to bring up, please do so.
I do, thank you.
And you'll just start by giving your name so that it's on the record, and go for it.
Okay, I'm Bonnie Schoen. I am here on behalf of the Lincoln Cemetery District. We have 4 of our 5 members here today, and then we have something kind of serious to bring up. But Susie and Rick Foreman and Sandy Winters and myself and one other lady that wasn't available today, I've done a lot of work and a lot of thinking about what we need to do with the cemeteries. One of the things that we need the county to advise us on, what we call the lower cemetery, or they call it the new cemetery, is actually Memorial Meadows Cemetery. And that property was donated years ago to the county for a cemetery. But we have no public show of what it is or why it is or how long it's been there. So we'd like to, maybe through Palatardo also, the
Yes.
historical preservation, see if we could get some signage at the lower cemetery that says Memorial Meadows.
Is there signage at the upper cemetery?
Pardon me?
Is there signage at the upper cemetery? I don't remember. There
The
is.
the signage starts
Yeah.
right down here at the highway that says
Yeah.
cemeteries
Okay,
this way. And then when you get to Memorial Meadows, the lower cemetery, it says Old Cemetery, 3 miles. But there's
okay, I remember
no,
that sign, yes.
there's no indication that, other than that big white cross up there, that says this is Memorial Meadows Cemetery. And I think if it's a case of finances, to put some signage up, the cemetery has been very graciously donated quite a bit of money for improvements or maintenance or whatever. And when it comes to maintenance, Rick Foreman is our man to go to. He's always there when we need him. Susie, where she is, Susie Murphy, she's my savior. She keeps track of who's curious and who wants information and who needs information. Rick does just about everything. Sandy's our newest member, Sandy Winters, and she has history. She even walked up to the cemetery.
We go down.
And tell us all. I remember him back when, you know. So she gives us a real charge when she's up there with us. There's some wonderful stories about the folks here. But anyway, my big question is, could we do something to mark off Memorial Meadows? An indication of what's really there, why it's there. And I think if we could go back through property records, would it be, to find the date when George Anderson did donate that? I think it was in the 1950s, but I'm not sure.
Pam Tardo is the key. She knows where all the bodies are buried. All right, they found some that were marked.
Rick, do you have something you want to tell us about with the cemetery? How many flags did the American Legion men and women post for Memorial
They
Day?
put flags on Veterans Graves for Memorial Day. There's like 100 and something, over 90 up at the old cemetery, and there's 11, I think, at the lower cemetery.
So between the American Legion and our cemetery committee, I congratulate them. It's a heck of a chore, and those people need remembered and honored.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Henhouse.
Sandy?
Just one second here.
Part of the presentation, but I just wanted to thank you as well, and Rick and everybody. Pam sent me pictures of the work,
The cleanup day.
and the huge tree that had to be chopped up and all of that, so it was impressive, and you guys looked like you had a pretty good time too, some of the pictures. So thank you for the great work, and it does take that.
Identify yourself first.
We had a great turnout. Several members. We had a great turnout for the cemetery cleanup. Most of it was concentrating on that tree that was going to be falling on the historic graves. They got that thing down, they got it cleaned up, it was spectacular. Then the next day, I met with Rick and Sue out there, and we put the flags up. So that was done before Memorial Day weekend. Bonnie's amazing.
Yes.
And that was mainly what I had to say.
Thank you. That's wonderful when volunteers come in and do that, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just keep that in mind. We have the money, but we need some guidance in getting signs up. That's my big thing today. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Is there any other public comment? Yes, sir.
I'm Houseman here. The problem in Lincoln right now is a lot of old folks are on these boards. I'm 86 years old. And we need to get the younger people involved. Zach Meach is pretty good about recruiting people, but this community council, I'm the only one sitting here in the chairs in the community council. I don't understand why people don't get involved in stuff in town. I just don't understand it. But we need to get the younger people involved somewhere.
And one of the great things you can do is invite them to come to a meeting and to be involved, get involved.
So if each member of the council brought one young person, you, come on, you're going with me, to a meeting, and that was because young people are busy playing softball and working and, paying the bills. You probably did that when you were young. But they don't have time to sit on these committees unless someone tells them it would be, that they are important and you need their help.
Because of the turmoil in the sewer board right now, we do get 2 new members on the city, community council. It's never anybody tends anymore. I just don't understand why people don't get involved in towns when they do it in the town.
We have several boards that we're always short of people on boards, so.
That's, wow, thank you anyway.
All right, is there any other public comment? Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Being as Niall brought it up, Sandy Winters, one of the new members of the problem child of the county, the Lincoln Sewer Board. We had a meeting on Tuesday. The 2 new members, myself and Nathan, were sworn in. We had the elections. I got to be the president. Nathan got vice president, which is making it a little difficult, being the newbies there not having the information. My hope is that we, as a sewer board, will become functional again. That we do not have to contact the county commissioners screaming, help, please. We do not have to contact the sheriff's department screaming, help, please. There's been too many instances of the sheriff's department being contacted, county attorney being contacted. My hope is that we can get things brought down about 75 notches on the emotion scale. We called the meeting early on Tuesday because I myself did not feel comfortable making any decisions on the agenda that was posted. So the meeting got called early, the agenda was tabled. There will be another meeting, it'll be kind of an out of cycle meeting for us on the 15th of this month, here at the library. Hopefully we can get some, and that was mainly because there's some time-sensitive issues that need to be brought up now rather than waiting until July. But yeah, mainly I think my concern with you guys was to let you know that, you know, here's hoping that the Lincoln Sewer Board doesn't immediately place a sense of dread upon the county officials. And that we can be taken out of detention and we can work as a group and hopefully as a functioning board once again.
And remember, you are a government of your own,
Yes,
and that's important for you to know.
yes.
And if you need to hire an attorney to help you guide you, that's something
And
that
from
you need to do.
what my understanding is, we do have one that is retained. There's an issue with that. We basically have 3 board members that are still the animosity there. It's, yeah.
But you need some guidance to make sure it's done right, and
We do have the possibility, it was suggested at one of the meetings that was brought up, Gilda said, you know, I thought it was the county, she said, I was corrected on it, it's the state offers meetings to teach board members
Yes.
how to conduct a meeting. We haven't contacted anybody with that yet. We do have a local guy that was on the school board chairman for over 8 years. He's attended all of those meetings. He might be a good one to advise us, and, you know, we're kind of hoping maybe make it mandatory that through each term, which, you know, basically in a year, you should have attended a training session at least once. And that might help with as far as what our protocol is.
Isn't it training session through University of Montana?
Yeah, I heard
No, it's-
MSU, I think.
It's the local government center at MSU, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They send people up to train boards. We had a firefighting organization, a volunteer fire department that was, they were just nasty to each other. That was one of the things we tried to, and I think that they did have the training. I'm not sure the people who really needed the training went, but everybody else did, and so
Yeah.
that is an option for you.
And it's great to know what you can do and how you go about doing it, to make it legal.
Yeah, to follow the proper protocol, I've read the bylaws, and to be truthful with you, some of the stuff might not be retained, and it's not a matter of senility, it's a matter of my brain is full.
Yes.
You know, some of it is actually song lyrics from the 80s that, you know, a few of those I can pluck out of there and make room for, you know, a little more of the paperwork that I need to absorb. Basically, from what I understood from the meeting in March where the gallo brought up that there is training available, it sounded like it was like $1,500. To be truthful with you, our sewer board does not have expendable money. I do not know any of the facts and figures right now because I was sworn in and elected on Tuesday. So,
I might suggest that you read the bylaws. It would be helpful if there were other people on that committee who had the who had read them, so.
everybody has had the opportunity to have those bylaws.
Having the opportunity is not the same thing as sitting down and reading the damn stuff, because it's boring. They'd rather watch TV or whatever. But you need the commitment for the benefit of the community that they will sit down and read it, and maybe you could get together for coffee with 3 or 4. It doesn't have to be everybody.
Well, and in theory, with what the bylaws are, because it has to be a public meeting.
Okay.
And I have met with individuals so far,
Okay.
but to have 3 of us together is considered a quorum.
See this?
So, you know, we're trying to watch that because the community is totally up in arms.
Yeah.
For a lack of any better term, in the last at least 6 months, the sewer board meetings have been nothing more than a shit show. Which fits with the theme, I guess, but,
Oh, that's true.
you know, but it's gotten to the point where when I talked to Eric, who was, you know, the outgoing chair, I had talked to him right after the elections because I needed to let him know I might possibly not be able to make the meeting because I'm an election judge. It was election day. I was going to be at the hall for 16 hours. So arrangements were made with Connor, with the elections office, for me to get up early to attend the meeting. But when I was talking to Eric, I said, you know, things are getting out of control. And I'm totally amazed to walk out of those sewer board meetings and not see nooses hanging from the trees. It's gotten out of control. You know, and that's what I'm hoping for, is we don't have to worry about having the sheriff's presence during one of our meetings. You know, they have to, you know, definitely being around at that time. Hoping that things can settle down, remind people, you know, it's a sewer board meeting.
I appreciate you coming and letting us know that you're working on it. I think it's important to know that you are a separate government.
Yes.
So the responsibility is with you folks to do it. And I sure would encourage you to do the training that you're talking about. Get as many people as you can to that training.
Okay, and would you actually, with Aaron, like I said, he's gone through all of the training, all of his years on the different boards. He has volunteered to come in, but for the sake of everybody to make it a little more legit, is there a possibility I could get the information then for
Would there be a grant?
who does training for boards?
Mr. Chair? Commissioner? Yes, so I'm glad you're talking about it, but all the resources that you can muster are great. So the local government center, we can get you the information, absolutely. What we have done in the past is the county has, and I don't know if this will happen soon, but we've done a training with the local government center for all of our boards and committees. We invited our sister governments and brother governments, the sewer boards and hospital districts, if they want to come and participate in those trainings. Something like that could happen soon, I don't know. But you can also learn from the other sewer districts that are operating functionally right now. We as a partner government, not telling you what to do or anything, but we're happy to tell you, here's how we run our meetings, here's how we keep our books, here's how we do our minutes, here's how we believe that our meeting should be run. We're happy to give you that information and talk to you about that anytime you want. We just can't do it for you or tell you what to do or tell that guy he's fired or whatever. We can't do that stuff. We're not, you're your own government, but we sure would be willing to be your partner and help
Any
way we
advice
can.
and input.
So we'll get you all that
Greatly
information.
appreciated.
Yeah, happy to visit with you afterwards.
And I can even take that one song from the 80s that I didn't like and I can get it out of the head to make room to read it as well.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for stepping up and participating.
Yeah.
So we have one coming up, it looks like. Thanks, Roger. June 24th on a Wednesday, boards and committee training.
Are you listening?
June 24th.
Okay.
We'll be in town, right, Helen?
Yeah.
June 24th.
It's at our building. Okay, it's at the city county building. We're gonna be having a training that the local government center's gonna put on. So they're coming from Bozeman to put that on for us. So you'd be welcome to join us.
It wouldn't cost
That
anything.
wouldn't cost your team anything. We've already paid for
Yeah,
that.
we'll be having a meeting on the 15th,
Okay.
so we will have all the board members there at that time, and
So we'll
that's something
send you
I
some
can add
info.
onto the agenda.
Okay, I'll get your info, we'll send you some information.
All right. All right, is there any other public? Yes, sir.
Francis Dealer is my name. I worked for the county for 30-some years. Now, Sandy touched on a few things. The cemetery started out, why it started there, we couldn't plow the snow up to the old, so we started it there. George Anderson promised to do some. Well, if you dealt with George Anderson, you know, it don't work that way. We put that, he made the sign, we put the culverts and all that other stuff in. Now, we were grading the road one day, a couple of the sewer boards, members, I went up there and I killed 5 trees so people can park up there. And I said, I'll kill the trees, but you better dispose of them. So they did, and that made it so they could do park, 2 people in the park. Now back to the park, is here we bladed all this up there, and then we, put gravel in the deal, he knows that it's there. And the other thing for everybody, first middle of July, better be ready. We can have snow here in town. We had 4 inches of snow here. I went up and checked the passes on the book. We didn't have any, but we had 4 inches of snow here. Yeah. But then I helped the cemetery quite a bit by going up and helping them, kept everybody happy and that way.
other public comment? Is there any other public comment? Not, we're adjourned.